Welcome back to Fireside Fears. Tonight's tale is going to test something deep inside you, your sense of self. Because sometimes the scariest thing you can encounter isn't a monster outside your home, but the one that learns to wear your own face. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and remember, if your reflection seems a little too slow to follow your movements, don't look away. The shadow that wore my face. I never believed in strange things happening in empty rooms, but it all began the day I moved into my new apartment, top floor, end of the hallway. I thought the place was perfect, quiet, clean, affordable. Too affordable, really. The landlord brushed it off with a shrug and a weirdly forced smile. "People don't like living that close to the mirrors," he said, whatever that meant. The apartment had these old, full-body mirrors nailed into the walls. Not hung, nailed, like someone didn't want them removed. I didn't care. They looked vintage, maybe a little dirty, but I figured I'd clean them later. That first night, while I was unpacking, something strange happened. I walked past the hallway mirror, glanced at myself, and saw something impossible. My reflection wasn't walking at the exact same pace. It was a fraction of a second behind me. Not much, just enough to notice. I froze. The reflection froze. I lifted my right hand. It lifted its hand, but not perfectly aligned, as though it wasn't copying me, but studying me. I stepped closer. The reflection's expression changed a little slower than mine should have, not delayed, different. I smiled. It smiled, but not wide enough. I frowned. It frowned, but the eyebrows pulled too low, like someone imitating emotions they didn't understand. I tried to rationalize it, old glass, distortion, fatigue, but then I saw it. A handprint on the inside of the mirror. Not mine, not aligned with mine. A darker, larger handprint pressed from the other side, slowly sliding downward. That night, I slept with lights on. The next morning, I noticed the hallway mirror was slightly tilted forward. I never touched it. The nails still held it, but the angle was different, as if something behind it pushed. While brushing my teeth, the bathroom mirror fogged over from the steam. I wiped it. My reflection didn't wipe back at the same time. This time, the delay was longer, almost a full second. I stepped away from the sink. The reflection stepped back more slowly, its movements awkward, like limbs learning how to bend. I whispered to myself, "Don't freak out. You're tired. That's all." My reflection's lips moved a moment later, but the whisper that came from it wasn't my voice. It was deeper, wet, like breathing through mud. I stumbled back, slamming into the wall. The reflection didn't mirror that. Instead, it pressed its forehead against the glass, as though listening to something on my side. Then it smiled. I didn't. Over the next few days, things escalated. Every mirror in the apartment seemed to have its own mind. One night I got up to get water. As I walked past the hallway mirror, I saw myself still standing there, inside it, motionless, watching me leave the room. I froze in the doorway. The reflection raised its hand and slowly curled its fingers, motioning for me to come closer. I didn't. I shut the lights off in panic. That was the time I realized something terrifying. The reflection didn't disappear when the room got dark. It became sharper, as if darkness fed it. On the fifth night, I heard tapping, soft, rhythmic, coming from the walls. I followed it, and the sound led me to the largest mirror in the apartment, the one in the bedroom. Tap, tap, tap. Then a voice, my voice, but not me. Let me out. I've learned enough. I backed away so fast I tripped over the bed. The thing in the mirror slammed both hands flat against the inside of the glass, rattling the frame. Its face stretched impossibly wide, smiling far beyond what my skin and bones could ever manage. You don't need this body anymore. You don't use it well. The nails holding the mirror began to bend outward, one by one. The room grew colder, my breath fogged, even though it was the middle of summer. I had only one instinct: run. I bolted for the hallway. Behind me I heard the mirror shatter, not like breaking glass, but like something tearing through fabric. I didn't look back. The hallway mirror cracked as I passed it, splitting my reflection vertically. The left side smiled, the right side scowled. Both mouths moved, whispering separately. Too slow. Too late. I reached the door. The knob froze my hand, the metal colder than ice. But I yanked it open, sprinted into the hallway, and didn't stop until I reached the street. I spent the night in my car. At dawn, shaking but determined, I went back with the landlord. I expected the mirrors to be smashed to pieces, but when he unlocked the door, everything looked normal. Too normal. The mirrors were untouched, perfect, not a crack in sight. Except, when I approached the bedroom mirror, my reflection looked exhausted. Dark circles under the eyes, shaking hands, bruised knuckles. But I felt fine. No bruises, no shaking. I leaned close. My reflection leaned closer too, but smiled. I didn't. That was the time I understood. The thing didn't want to escape the mirror. It wanted to replace me. The landlord grabbed my arm. You need to leave now. Why are the mirrors nailed? I asked, pulling away. He didn't answer. He just whispered, whatever's inside them prefers people who stare too long. I left the apartment immediately. That night, at my friend's house, while brushing my teeth in a completely different bathroom, I froze. My reflection didn't move. It stayed completely still. Then it blinked. Not up and down, sideways. That was tonight's tale, the shadow that wore my face. If you see your reflection doing anything you didn't or standing somewhere you aren't, maybe it's time to turn off the lights and stop looking. Sometimes mirrors don't just reflect you. Sometimes they practice. Sleep well if your reflection lets you.